I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I coach people and organizations to be effective professionally. Having worked in recruiting for as many years as I have, I find a lot of the work I do is with job hunters and with organizations, helping them find work or hire talent. Now, I wanted, let me back up for a second. For years, I've talked with people about what companies look for when they hire. And I spoke about competence, self-confidence, character, chemistry, maybe a little bit of charisma, all of which translated into personal leadership. I've now evolved that into thinking about that they trust you. It's not necessarily leadership or personal leadership, it's about the trust factor for you. Now, I spotted an article on Forbes that I thought was very helpful, and it kind of elucidates it from the employer perspective. And their big thing in this article is to have the employer ask the question, why would you want this job? Now, they then look for answers that translates into one of three variables. The impact that someone would have and the effect that they would have on others, which translates in the writer's mind to a bias to do good for others. If they talk about how the job would allow them to leverage their strengths, their bias is more likely to do things they're good at. And the third thing is, if someone talks about the job would fit with their own goals or progresses them toward those goals, their bias is most likely to do things that are good for them. Now, the article then encourages the interviewer, the hiring manager, to explore this more fully. But let's pause for a second and see what this translates into for you. I believe that interviews should start off with you asking them to tell you about what they're looking for. So you can talk about how your experience or your professional strengths, in effect, match up with what they're looking for. Because from this writer's perspective, there are three things an employer looks for. Can they do the job, which is skills? Will they love the job, which is passion? And can we tolerate working for you? So it becomes strengths, motivations, and fit. Now, we all know employers are trying to persuade you to join, and you're trying to persuade them to hire you. And as such, we're dealing with a bogus scenario here where each of you is trying to sell the other that you're the solution to what they're looking for. And, I would suggest if someone asks you this question and, asks you to, why would you want to work for us or something like that, there are two ways of doing it. One I've covered in another video, and that's for the celebrity organization that likes to be flattered. Why would I want to work for you? Why wouldn't I want to work for you? And then you list 3 or 4 different things. But if you're dealing with the non-celebrity organization, you need to kind of flip the question back at them and say, hey, look, I'm on a first interview with you. I don't know if I want to work for you. What I want to do is learn about this organization, learn about you as my potential boss, learn about the opportunity here, and go from there. Here's what that does. Number one is it takes the con out of the situation. It basically flips it back at them, and I think it's perfectly valid. Why would I want to work for a company? I know no one. I don't really know what the work is all about, what the expectations are of me. How do you answer that question? You have to find out more. So you have to demonstrate the strength that lives within you and show it to them. Because especially in leadership roles, especially there's no reason to allow them to run that tango on you. There's no reason for them to kind of push you around. Why would you want to work for us? Unless it's the celebrity firm that has an incredible brand that everyone says wonderful things about. I'll let you figure out who those organizations are in your mind. But for most organizations, they don't carry that cachet. So you can't play ball with this question and suck up to them. You have to flip it on them and say, In effect, this is way too early for me to answer. I don't know yet because you haven't told me anything about the job, what your expectations are from me, what the demands are going to be, what the compensation is going to be for me. And thus, you can bring this one to a quick conclusion so employers don't think that they have all the cards stacked for them. I'm Jeff Altman. I hope you found this helpful. If you're interested in my coaching you throughout your job search or post-employment once you're in the new role and you want some support from someone who is aligned with you and your objectives, reach out to me through LinkedIn, first by connecting with me there at linkedin.com/IN/the big game hunter. Mention that you saw the video because I just like knowing I'm helping some folks. Once we're connected, we can set up a time for a free discovery call. I'd love to help you. And if you just have a couple of questions about your search, reach out to me by phone through either prestoexperts.com or an app called Magnify. Magnify is iOS only. You can message me through the app to schedule time. prestoexperts.com, if that's the way you're going to do it. Schedule time with me specifically through LinkedIn so that in this way, you're not trying to interrupt me while I'm working with someone. Hope you have a great day. Take care.